How was your week? Hmm? Sorry? Can't complain. Your bad week or good week? Hmm? In between, not bad and not good. Why was it not good? Hectic. In what way? School offline. What are your timings? 6 to 2:30. So how much time do you get at home then? In what way, like hectic?
Like after coming to school, work and like the site duties that you take.
Not getting much spare time, always round the clock. But now May not will have vacations, so I think yes, it will be a little
From next week.
When is it?
It's 6 weeks.
Another week more. I want to in my how do I minimize this screen? Madhav is online. Hey, how do I get that screen, guys? You all know. I want to minimize and open my drive. Double click. Double click. Oh yes. Who said that? Smart. I know. What do you? Why is it saying your side? Nationalism in Europe. So which chapter were we doing? How do I share now? Well, no, what now? You'll know? How do I share this page? There's already something sharing already. Now, how do I share this page with it? Should I stop this sharing? Of that, turning off that camera, this show turning off
The
the
camera on the
means what will I have to do? Camera कहाँ पे है? More. There is something already being. Can you see the screen, mother?
Ma'am, the screen is shared and that whiteboard is shared on the screen.
What can you see? Can you see development on the page on the screen?
No, ma'am. And the whiteboard is shared on the screen.
That's what. Last time, नाही हे स्क्रीन शेअर करायचं ते लास्ट टाइम काय केलेलं ते कॅमेराचा काहीतरी बोलतोय what camera? Last time also sir was doing certain something like that. Which हा कॅमेरा ऑफ करा हा आता ते माझं ते कसं शेअर होणार ते घालती ओपन आहे तिकडे लास्ट वाला हे नाही झालं असणार शेअर तो कुठे गेला शेअर स्क्रीन पर मिनिमाइज करा आणि ते शेअर स्क्रीन वर जाऊ आता माझं कुठे कंटेंट फ्रॉम सेकंड कॅमेरा काय येतो
This one.
What can it be? But then how do we go to that screen?
Ma'am, in the share screening, if you use.
We are go. Wait, we'll see. एक मिनिट नाही तर डाउनलोड करून बघूया फाईल डाउनलोड करा तिकडे फाईल वर जाऊन कुठे डाउनलोड याचं डाउनलोड आता कुठे आहे यार याच्यात मला PowerPoint as virtual background not found बोलतो Now are you able to see Madhav?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you. आता तुम्ही काहीतरी केलं आता मी काहीतरी केलं आणि झालं finally okay so shall I that had got disconnected no last time the cable had some problem no when I was turning it let it be how can you all see completely on the floor done okay so all this we had done last time right development what all did we speak about development development first we started with development in terms of an individual what is it where you're growing you're becoming more advanced than what you already are you're better than all of you all were there in the last class no that's what I had a feeling you this is your first class We'll do a recap, so show the screen also, so it's familiar with it. Okay. So, I'm not able to. Okay. Okay, great. So this is what we did. We'll scroll a little faster. So we proceed then. Okay, here. Development of processing with someone or something grows, changes, becomes more advanced. So what were the keywords here? Grows, changes, becomes more advanced. Then one person sit here, no? So I can now change the slide. Come on, copy. So she's only moving when I'm asking for something other than it. I just this thing, no, here, this arrow. Huh? So here, what did we talk about? What development promises? Different people will have different goals. We asked everyone and each one had a different goal. Also, what did this dam indicate?
And some are having advantages and the people living there in
Yes.
locality might be having some disadvantages.
Yes. What is development for one may be destructive for the other. So what was that one concept? Different people, different goals. Different people, different goals. And what may be development for one?
Might be
What may be development for one may be destruction for the other. We gave the dam example. How did it indicate that that is destruction for the other?
And the people living there had to go somewhere else.
Yes, the people living there were displaced because they would have lost their houses. Hey, what are you doing? What happened? Hmm? Okay, so here it was development for one section because they got water, maybe for irrigation, for drinking purposes, for electricity, whereas it was destructive for the people who were living in that area. Now go ahead. This was different categories. Income and other goals here, what did we do? That we need money, but other than money, we need many other non-material things. Okay, so income is important, but along with income, we need other non-material things. Then, yeah, we spoke about that example, no, where one company is providing a high salary, but low security. You can lose that job anytime. And you have another company which is giving a lower salary, but there is job security. You won't lose your job. So, which one is preferred? Depends from person to person. Then, national development. What is national development? The ability of a nation to improve the standard of living of its people. Now, one thing you remember that the two most important parameters for calculation of the development of a nation are education and health. Yes, and health. Okay, other than income. Income obviously is there. But other than that, you have health and education. Like if you consider even what is the economy? It is the sum of all individual people, right? Even if you see your house, for example, in your family, where is most of the income centered around? Mostly around education. Your parents are sending you to school, plus they are sending you here, right? They are investing for health, eat healthy food, go exercise, join a gym, buy a cycle. What is that all for? Health. So these are the, you'll have recreation also where you might go for a holiday, but major part of it is around health and education. So that's why these are the two most important, because there are so many parameters, no? So what are we going to consider? So we consider the two most important parameters, which is education and health. Here we did this example. Here this and building, and here you have slums. Correct? Next. How to compare per capita income? What is the formula? Total income upon the population. Next. Here we spoke about these two countries. What did it show?
Ma'am, in the country A, there was equal distribution of salary, and in country B, there were only some people, there were people who were having less than the average, and one was having more than
All the money, correct. So which means what is that term? There was disparity. Disparity means a lot of differences. So we don't want disparity. That is not development. So although both the countries had the same average income, what was the average? 10,000. So although both the countries had an average of 10,000, still country A will be better off because there is more equitable distribution of income. Then here we spoke about Haryana and Kerala and Bihar, where along with per capita income. So if this is the least, Bihar is the least, that doesn't mean that Bihar is the least developed, because we also considered other criteria. This infant mortality rate is a part of health. Literacy is a part of education. Even the next one, net attendance ratio, is a part of education. So we need to consider all other parameters. Now this is what we take up. This is not coming clearly in this. It's because of the screen. Anyway, so what are we now going to talk about? Public facilities. Here, what are we going to say? That public facilities means what? What is provided to the public, most of the people living in that area. So money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services you may need to live there. You might feel that I have money, I can buy whatever I want. But you cannot buy whatever you want because you are living in a community. Like for example, you can see that pollution there. How much ever money you have, can you prevent the pollution? Can you prevent yourself from inhaling those fumes? You cannot stop breathing. Yeah, right? At the most, you might be a little more careful than a person who cannot afford. Right? You might close your doors, windows, you might put an AC, but ultimately, once you move out, it's all in vain. It's all in vain. You're going to be exposed to the smoke. The other one, that other side, what happened in COVID? One to the other, from the other to the other, right? So did COVID, the virus, think that no, this person is rich, I should not go there. This person is not, so let me go there. No, nobody was spared. So even the richest of people were not spared. So money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services you may need to live well. Income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that citizens are able to use. So those are known as public facilities. This is in your textbook activity 2 and the third one. This one you'll do it for homework. This on pages 12 and 13. Okay. Where some data is given and you need to calculate and fill the blanks. And in activity 3, you need to calculate your BMI. Okay, it's a health indicator. What does it stand for? Body mass index. So the calculations are your weight divided by height square. Okay. So you do that calculation, and behind in one of the pages there are 2 pages where the average is written, like what category you fall into based on your BMI. There's one sheet which has it for the boys and the other for the girls based on your age and means, based on your age in terms of years and months. So if you are, how old now? 15. So if you're 14 years, 7 months, so like, or 15 years, 1 month, those exact calculations are there, so you'll refer to that. Human Development Report. Once it is realized that even though the level of income is important, yet it is an adequate measure of the level of development, we begin to think of other criterion. Other criteria other than income. So here that is what they have told, that health and education are the 2 most important criteria other than income. Next, sustainability of development. What is it? Sustain. Sustain means, yes, to have a good level of development and also to maintain it. Like, for example, say you'll usually the someone who scores 80. Okay, this time you work very hard, work very sincerely, you put in long hours, you do your best, and you get a 90. You get a 90%. Everyone's going to be happy. Arey, well done, बहुत अच्छा किया. You're also going to be you're also going to feel very motivated. Charge, wow, मैंने मेहनत किया, मेरे को 90 मिला. Okay, but what is going to happen after that? There will be a pressure on you to be able to maintain that level, no? From 80 now, if you get even an 85, it will be like, you yourself feel, yaar, mujhe 5% kam kyun mila, correct? So you have to sustain that level of development. That is an individual. Okay. Now, where the country is concerned, see here, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Borrowing, there's a difference between borrowing and taking. Taking means I'm taking it from you and the thing is mine, I may not give it back to you. If I'm borrowing means what? Can I borrow your pen? Which means I use it for some time and I give it back to you. So the earth is inherited, it is borrowed from our children, which means from our future generation we are taking it, we are borrowing it. We cannot take it from them and deplete those resources. When we finish those resources, those means we have taken it, we have not left anything for them. I have not given the pen back to you, right? But I am not taking it, we are borrowing it. So what do we have to do? We have to yes, we have to use our resources wisely so that we leave it for our future generations. We cannot deplete our resources. So sustainable development can be defined as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising on the ability of future generations to meet their needs. So what are the 2 important things here? Number 1 is meeting the needs of the present. Okay, meeting the needs of the present. And the second important thing there is without compromising on future. Okay, meeting the needs of the present without compromising on the future generations. What is sustainability of development? Meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising on the future. Then it is helpful to fulfill the needs of human beings without harming the ability of the future generation for what?
Getting those.
Yes, to be able to use those resources. Now, some renewable resources like groundwater will take a long time to be replenished. So we should use that resource in finite quantity, means limited, restricted. Don't overuse it. And yeah, these are the I'm coming in the middle. These are the sustainable development goals. There are 17 of them. Later you will write it, okay? No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being. Next.
Gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy.
Yeah, clean energy means something energy which is not going to be polluting. Then
Decent work and economic growth, industrial innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water.
life below water is what? Aquatic life, polluting, not polluting the oceans and the seas.
Life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnership for the goals.
Partnership for the goals means what? What are our goals? All these partnerships, working with other communities, with other countries, or within a country, states working together. Next is what? This is the last slide. Groundwater in India and exhaustion of natural resources. Recent evidence suggests that the groundwater is under serious threat of overuse in many parts of the country. You can see this lady, she's putting her this bucket or whatever so deep inside, and that level is going down. About 300 districts have reported a water level decline of over 4 meters in the past 20 years. How much? 4 meters in the past 20 years, it has gone down. Nearly 1/3 of the country is overusing the groundwater reserves. How much? 1/3 of our country is overusing our reserves. In another 25 years, 60% of the country would be doing the same if the present way of using this resource continues. Groundwater overuse is particularly found in the agriculturally prosperous regions of Punjab and Western UP. There, which two places? Yes, Punjab and Western UP. Why? Because here they have more of agriculture, so that's why they need a lot of waters, irrigation. So that's why that exploitation is happening more in these places. Hard rock plateau areas of central and south India, some coastal areas, and rapidly growing urban settlements. Now, why is groundwater overused? Yeah, for want of irrigation, and also it is being overused because they don't have any alternate sources. Probably if they are provided with other sources, it might not happen. And also, you know about the green revolution, right? Where HYV seeds have been used. What is HYV seeds? High yielding variety. So those varieties also need a lot of water. So that exploitation. Can there be development without overuse? Can we do that? We can, no? We can look for alternative sources, develop the other sources and save this resource. Okay, save the groundwater. No, but if it's all about efficient management. You see, when we have the rainfall over here, even if you have floods in one year, later at the end of the same year, you'll have a shortage of water. Why does that happen? Now when it rains so much, now the rainy season is going to come, right? When it rains, there are so many places where you see water accumulators. All the lakes are also full Even that Vashi, when you cross through that train or the road, you see, it's all till the top, right? Then what happens? By now, aren't you facing shortage at your house, at your places? I'm from Sagar, so in our area now, like every Monday and Tuesday, they cut the water. There is less water coming. But my society, they have managed the water supply very well. So we don't face so much problems. Now see, within the same locality also, there is one society where they have problems even when there is no problem. Even at that time, they face shortages. And there is one society like mine where otherwise there is no problem. And now with water cuts also, they are able to manage. This week, there was no water cut that happened. Okay. So now, what is the logic? Because here it's being managed well, whereas there it is not. Water, same water is being supplied there also and here also. Right? Yes, exactly. Then here this example 2, it is about exhaustion of natural resources. Middle East, I'll just read this because this is like too tiny. If you all have your textbooks, you all can, or it might be in these also. It might be in those also in the resource book. Just check.
Exhaustion of natural resources.
Huh.
Crude oil reserves.
Yes. Crude oil reserves, same one. You have the Middle East, US, and the world, correct?
Yes.
Only thing, first is 808.
Yes.
Huh, okay.
78.
Yes, correct. So what is it? Region you have, then you have what page number all have opened now?
196.
Follow 197. So region or country, reserves, number of years the reserves will last. So Middle East, what are the reserves? Yeah, 808,000 million barrels. It's in terms of 1,000 million barrels. Then number of years?
70.
Yes, 70. US 50. Number of years? 10.5. World 97. And years 50.2. What is written after that? Read.
The table gives an estimate of reserves of crude oil. More important, it also tells us for how many years the stock of crude oil will last if people continue to extract it at the present rate. The reserves will last only 50 years more. This is for the world as a whole. However, different countries face different situations. Countries like India depend on importing oil from abroad because they do not have enough stock of their own. If prices of oil increases, this becomes a burden for everyone. There are countries like USA which have low reserves and hence want to secure oil through the military or economic power. The question of sustainability of development raises many fundamentally new issues about the nature and process of development.
So what is going to happen if our resources exploited, supply low and demand high, prices will increase automatically. What is in short supply is hyperinflation. Yes, exactly. That's what will happen because India will not be able to afford the high prices and it's going to be in short of supply. Demand is going to be there. So prices will increase. Now, that's the end of this. Write down these sustainable goals. This. You all, since you all can't see, what you all do is just put your heading as sustainable development goals and write numbers 1 to 17 and read it out to you all. Write this. Numbers 1 to 17. Written?
Yes.
The first is no poverty. Second is no hunger. Third is good health and well-being. Then quality education. Then fifth is gender equality. And sixth is clean water and sanitation. Seventh, affordable and clean energy. Decent work and then ninth, industry innovation.
And what reduces inequalities and gender equality, slightly.
Yeah, but this is in terms of other things also, and that is specifically with respect to gender. This is 12th. 12th is what? Responsible consumption and production. Oh, sorry. 11, sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and communities. And 12 was what? Responsible consumption and production. In Like below water. Please choose designs for the institutions. So you are able to understand that justice. With 17 is partnership for the partnerships. Good and writing. Most meetings is not. You write it, you don't write it in person. Then what about your speed? So you put the right information. That's why he's not willing to show me. He will like wait long. What happened to your handwriting? Can't write like this in the board. Yeah, I just made so many papers. Like we call the Bhasha Vishaya. Okay? You put your handwriting. Also not writing in person. Did you finish? And practice. So, where would you know? Yes, it's a picture. Yours is also good, but then again, it's that the right part versus. But I use it like this part. Let me ask you a few questions. Madhav,
Yes, ma'am.
Madhav, are you clear with everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy.
And we just have to write this slide, right?
What?
When we just have to write this slide.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
You wrote?
Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask a few questions. You all can close your books. But while I'm searching for your what to ask. Madhav, I'm asking a few questions. You can also answer, huh?
Okay, ma'am.
Just speak and say that you want to speak, because if you just unmute yourself, I won't come to know. So
Okay.
just say, ma'am, I want to answer, and answer. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What is equitable distribution of income? Hmm? You're asking me or you're telling me? I'm the one who will do the asking and you will do the telling. What is it? Want to answer? Speak louder. I can't hear you. Only okay, elaborate. Let's say if it's a that carries 3 marks, how will you explain in your own words? You see?
When income is provided to people based on merit and not on that what is right? And based and not completely not based on gender.
Okay, partially true, but
Every individual gets equal opportunity or based on education or anything, but have equal distribution of going on the same compared to the
okay. Correct. So partially you answered it and the rest of it partially you answered. What are your inputs? Both. Then what is equitable distribution? Total distribution in equal amounts. Okay. What is the formula for per capita income? Madhav, you tell.
Can you repeat the question?
Formula for per capita income. How do you calculate?
Ma'am, the country's population divided by income, the total income.
Ulta.
Oh, okay.
Opposite.
Okay, ma'am.
Reciprocal.
Yes.
So give the answer.
Ma'am, the
The reciprocal of what you just said.
country's national income divided by its population.
Okay, the total income of the citizens divided by the population. Per capita income is usually calculated everywhere in dollars. Why do you think dollars are used to calculate?
as per today's ratio, dollar has more value than any other currency.
Okay. The reason is that because they have to take one standard measure. So that is why the dollar is used. Okay. See, this is in your volumes. You can even go through it later for practice. Per capita income is calculated in dollars for all countries, so that comparison can be done easily. It is also done in a way so that every dollar would buy the same amount of goods and services in any country. So which means to take a common measure. Then explain sustainable development.
Saving and reserving resources,
Compromising.
compromising the future.
Very good. Explain, elaborate. If it carries 3 marks, what will you say? Only two. Who didn't speak? You didn't say anything.
Sustainable development happens when when resources are left for the future generation, even after meeting the needs of the current generation, and it has many facets, like the reasons you give. For example, the, uh, the the saving of groundwater in parts of
Okay. So that is to sustain. You can also say that what was that that box there, the quote about sustainable development? The globe.
of resource of present
Yes. Yes, this one here. Where is that? This one. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. So like say for example, if you get that as a question carrying 2 marks or 3 marks, you can even add the statement of my explanation, then you can even add this or write it in the beginning only. So it's the teacher understands that you understood the concept. Okay, good. What are the important criteria on the basis of which development of a country is calculated? Why only education and health?
Mostly, income is most for investment in education.
Okay, so they are the most important. Since good can seem to got a good understanding of things. Okay, chalo, ठीक है दीदी. Ended here. Rest of the things go through your textbook, go through your resources. Okay. Next, now I guess we'll take a chapter of geography. Resources in geography. Yes. We'll have a book now. So next week we will do. We have to get time. Whatever we have classes are essential. You need that. Like he was saying, tired. What? It is a very similar. Not sweet. It's same answer. So you're looking primarily because of school of life classes. Any doubts, mother?
No, ma'am.
We're done, so we'll close the class now.
Okay.
Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, no? Okay. I'll stop share. Leave it as you two are saying. How? Which one? This one. No, if I again do this, then you muted. Where is it? Dear? Oh, that's what. Where is it? There.